and welcome to my video blog, Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and today is Wednesday the 16th of November 2022. If you are a returning subscriber, hello and welcome back. Do you even remember who I am? And if you're new, this is the first time you've watched me. I haven't been around for quite some time. Life has been quite complicated the last 6 months or so. There's been quite a few health issues, just different things going on in life, and just making a video just seemed way too complicated, to be honest. One of the biggest issues has been with me, with my own health, and I haven't been keeping very well over the past 6 months. I haven't been keeping very well over the past couple of years, to be honest. And it's all down to my age and pesky hormones. So that's kind of on the mend now. I've got my HRT patches. That seems to be working out quite well. I've been on them for a few months now, since about May, and it's really difficult to tweak them. You've got to wait about every 12 to 16 weeks before you can make any more changes. So I've had them adjusted. I'm also waiting to get an appointment with the menopause clinic, the local menopause clinic. So I'm just waiting for that appointment to come in, and maybe they'll tweak me even more and I'll be feeling more like myself. I really haven't felt like speaking to anybody over just even Zoom meetings, or I've been struggling to join in with even local craft groups, anything like that. It's just, I feel like I've turned into a bit of a recluse, to be honest. But hopefully now that I'm feeling a wee bit more like myself, that'll get better. So today is not going to be a very long episode. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet, because the longer you leave something, the harder it gets to do. So I thought I would just come along and make maybe a wee 15-minute video, show you a couple of projects that I've been working on recently, and then also see if I can remember how to make a video, edit it, and get it uploaded onto YouTube, because that might be a bit of a challenge for me. So anyway, enough about me, and I'm going to show you some crafty content, okay? So I'm just going to lean in and get the first thing that I wanted to show you. And the first thing I want to show you is a crochet blanket that I've made for my youngest grandson. So it's going to be quite difficult to show you all, but maybe stand up and show you. See if I can get it all in. Excuse me. I think you get the gist, don't you? It's not a huge blanket. It's just a wee lap blanket for when he's cozying in with mum or dad, watching TV. He's got just something to snuggle with. We were out over the summer, and he's 3 now, and he's learning a lot of new words. Every week you see him, he's learning more words every week, and obviously now that he's 3, he's putting them together into sentences. And it was just one day we were out and we were in a supermarket, and he saw a rainbow and he was like, "Oh, rainbow!" So that's why I'm making him a rainbow blanket, because he seemed to like the rainbow that he saw. I bought this yarn way back in June, and it's taken me quite a while to get the blanket done. He probably doesn't even like rainbows anymore, but anyway. Now, I didn't use a pattern for this. I made it up as I was going, which I think, considering the way my brain has been the past 6 months, that's pretty awesome actually. I used, excuse me, I used Robin double knitting. This is just all my ball bands, and it's Robin DK, and it's 100% acrylic. The littlest grandson's allergic to quite a lot of things, just like animal fibres, animal hairs, that kind of stuff. So there's no animal fibres in this whatsoever. And when I went into the shop, it's a wee local knitting shop that sells a lot of baby yarns. and I was looking for some just acrylic yarn for them. They had this, so I bought the 7 colours of the rainbow, and I bought 1 cream. But when I got to the cash desk, the lady pointed out to me that I think they were £1.35 a ball, or you were getting five for £5. So she actually recommended, rather than buying 8 balls, it would only be like another £1 and I could get 10 balls of yarn. So I did that. I bought 2 extra cream and started this little blanket for Jaden. Now, I used a 4mm hook for this blanket, and the first one this was my first wee swatch, and how I did it was I just crocheted a chain, and then I crocheted around both sides of my chain to get it, and then after that you start working back and forwards. This one had 6 increases to make the curve. I put 6 increases, 3 on one side, 3 on the other, but I didn't feel like it was curving enough. So I tried again. And this one I put 7 increases because I'll get 1 right at the top, but I felt that was going to be too pointy. It was going to be too pointy up here. So the third attempt was the one that I ended up going with. And that one's got 8 different increases. It's got 4 down each side. And that's about, I think, as much detail as I can tell you. It wasn't a really complicated make. As I say, you just start in the middle with a chain, and then you double crochet down you double crochet up one side of your chain, put 3 stitches at the top and double crochet down the other side, and I just took it from there, going back and forward. I only put the increases on every second row, so I've got one row, because you go back and forward, you're not going round in circles. You go round and you do a row of trebles, and I do my increases on the treble round, and then I turn and I come back and I was double crocheting, and I didn't put any increases in the double crochet round, and I did that with all 3. But as I say, that one had 6, and I wasn't very happy with that. Wasn't very happy with the 7 increases, but that one I felt that worked out. That worked out fine. So I'm really pleased with that, and I'm going to get round and see him today and give him it. He's been seeing wee snippets of it for the past couple of months, and he's probably thinking, when are you ever going to finish that blanket? So it's finally done. I used a 4mm hook. I used the Robin DK yarn, and the only other thing I did, when I got it to the size I wanted, each colour has got 8 rows. There's 4 double crochet rounds and 4 treble rounds. And then at the end, I just put a wee row of backwards double crochet. You work double crochet backwards. And then the same along the end, I just picked up the stitches along the bottom, and then a wee row of backward double crochet along the bottom to finish it off. Now, the only thing was I finished it and then I left it sitting here. I just folded it up. Once I finished it, folded it up, sat it in my room, and I left it till yesterday, knowing that I was filming this today and I wanted to give him it later on this afternoon. Picked it up yesterday, and I hadn't actually picked up enough stitches along the bottom. It was just a wee bit tight, and it was throwing the rest of the semicircle off. I feel like SpongeBob. Rainbow. Sorry, slight distraction. And I hadn't actually picked up enough stitches along the bottom. I didn't have enough time to rip it out and redo the bottom edge, because I wanted to get it washed and tumble dried to make sure there was no cat hair on it, because he's going to be allergic to my cat. He is allergic to my cat, actually. So I wanted to make sure there was no cat hair in it. So ran a lint roller over it, made sure there was no, because she likes to snuggle with me as I'm working on crochet or with knitting. So I had to make sure there's no cat hair on it, had to get it washed, had to get it tumble dried. So what I did was I pinned it out and I pressed it, and it's worked. And it's one of the things you should never do. You never put an iron on your finished garments, on your finished articles, but it worked and it stretched it out. And because I put the iron right on it and I have pressed it, it's going to stay like that. So I'm quite happy with that. And upside down rainbow. And I can go give him that today. Now, as you can imagine, having 7 balls of yarn, and then I've got 3 balls of cream, I had quite a bit of yarn left over. So I thought, what can I do with that leftover yarn? And I thought, I'll knit a blanket for his big brother. Now this one, this knitted blanket, again, I didn't use a pattern. I just made it up as I was going along. I did do a wee test swatch. My initial thought was to do Old Shale because that is my comfort stitch. I love Old Shale, and I thought, right, okay, you could do each colour, a few repeats of Old Shale, and then do some garter stitch in the cream because I had plenty of cream. But then I thought, is Old Shale, it's quite swishy, isn't it? And I thought, is that nice enough for a wee boy? Or is a wee boy going to want something less swishy? And I don't know, I just kind of felt it was kind of girly, the Old Shale pattern. And I know that's just in my head. So I thought I'll try something different. So it's just increases and decreases, just decreasing in the middle. It's a centre double decrease in the middle, so you're decreasing 2 stitches and then you've got these wee yarn overs. And I was quite happy with that. So I went with that for the blanket. I've used 2 strands of this double knitting. I've held them together and I used 5.5mm needles. Had them on a circular but just worked back and forward. And this is the other blanket. This one's worked out a lot bigger, but the older one is a lot bigger. He's nearly 10, so he needs a bigger blanket to snuggle under. Right, let me just get up and I can show you this properly. There we go. So I'm quite pleased with how this one turned out as well, especially when it wasn't planned. I just had enough yarn left over to make this one as well. The only thing I'm not happy with is the top edge doesn't scallop, point, zigzag the way the rest of it does. And I did try to cast it off in pattern. I have actually casted it off in pattern as well, and it still won't give me. And I've pinned it out, I've steamed it. I didn't actually press this one. I did press the crochet one, but I didn't press this one. I just steamed this one, washed it, tumble dried it, and then gave it a wee steaming to make sure it was nice and pretty for showing you today. But this one has finished at, it's 36.5 inches high, which is a good size for a 10-year-old, and it's 34 wide. So it's not quite square, but it is almost square. The little one, what size is that? The crochet one's 22.5 inches high by 44, so that's more rectangular. Whereas this one is going to be more square. That's it, folded in quarters. So they two are ready. I'm going to take them round to the boys later on this afternoon. And with everything that's going on in the UK right now, and the cost of living crisis, the wee blankets will maybe come in quite handy, won't they? Now, after finishing both of the blankets, I still had quite a bit of yarn left over. Not loads, but a good chunk. So I thought, what could I do with the leftovers? Because I'm determined not to have any leftovers. Get them out. Get rid of them all so they're not getting stashed in my room. So I thought, oh, I can make a wee cushion. It won't be a big cushion, but I could try making a cushion. So I thought, I'll crochet just a granny square. I've not actually sewn my ends in this yet. I'm still working on this. Whereas the blankets, the ends are all sewn in, which is so unlike me. It's something I actually really need to address, because I've got loads of socks. I've been knitting so many socks, and I've knitted them, I've blocked them, I've soaked them, blocked them, and all I need to do is weave in the ends so I can give them to people, and they're still sitting. I think what I need to do is actually just maybe spend 20 minutes a day weaving in ends, and I would probably get through them all quite quickly. The knitted blanket had about 58 ends to weave in, and it took me an hour. So that's only like, what, weave in an end a minute? It's not that long. Anyway, I'm sidetracking again, so out of practice. So this is only going to be about 30 centimetres square. Once it's finished, I'll give it a wee block. I will get all those ends weaved in, and that'll be the front of the cushion, sorry. So I've got one wee cushion front, and then I've got another 4 wee squares for the back. So I've got 2 squares that start with purple in the middle, sorry, it's violet actually, and then they work out to the red. And I've got 2 squares that start the same as the front with red in the middle and work the way out. So what I'll do is I'll just join these together for the back. And I've got 4 of them, and that'll be the back of the cushion. But after doing that, I still had a bit of yarn left over. Determined to get rid of it all. So I've started another cushion. So they can have one each. But this time, rather than having just the colour, I've got some cream in the middle. Because this one here is just 2 rounds. 2 rounds. It's 14 rounds. And I've repeated the rainbow. So there's 2. It's like a double rainbow, this one. And this one's just got cream in between each colour to help use up some of those colours, but I also had quite a bit of cream left over. And the back of this one, I have, oh, excuse me, I have this and this. And what the plan is to do is have another 2 squares, but they will start with, it'll be cream in the middle, then red, cream, then orange, cream, then yellow, and I'll finish with cream. And then when you sit it next to this one, it goes from, it'll be cream, red, cream, orange, cream, yellow, cream, and then it'll be into the green, and then it shrinks back down into the violet. That's the plan. Now, I'm actually making my way through this yarn. I've almost finished some of them. I just finished the green rounds this morning, and there's what I've got left in my green. So I think we can safely say that I've used up the green yarn. But the only other problem was I then started the last 2 squares, and they were to have red in the centre, and I've run out of red. Look at that, half a granny square round, half a round of granny squares. I've got, what's that, 4 lots of 3, 12 trebles to do and a wee bit of chaining, and I've run out of red. But I do have another project in mind for the littlest grandson, so I need to buy some red and I need to buy some black yarn for that, so I'll get a wee bit of red off of that one. And I'll get those squares finished. And I'm getting there. Wait till I show you. This is the yarn I've got left. So I'll be using up, I'll take that cream off. That's what I've got left in cream. And this is the other colours here. I've still to use the orange and I've still to use the yellow, so quite a bit of that will go. And then I'm getting there with it. These colours here, I'll probably use these for joining up the smaller granny squares, so quite a bit of those will go. And I'll need some of the cream as well for joining the one that's got some cream in the middle. I'll use a lot of that cream up, but I might keep the cream just in case that bottom edge starts to shrink back in, and at some point I can take the bottom edge back off and crochet up more stitches and make it a wee bit wider. But I think it'll be okay because I pressed it. I know, I still can't believe I pressed it. You're not supposed to press your knitting. I tell people that all the time at the classes I'm teaching. Don't put the iron anywhere near your finished article. And there was me, just get it right on. I'll stretch that out of shape and it'll never shrink back in. So anyway, that's what I've been working on recently. That's the most of what I've been doing. I really need to focus on finishing things and not starting any more things. The number of whips I've got lying about is unbelievable, and I think I really need to address that, to be honest. So much stuff, and if I would just finish a few things and get them out the door, that would be great. Right, one last thing I'm going to show you crafty wise, because I don't want this to be too long, because then it'll take me forever to edit it. Even if I do remember editing, that could be a challenge. So I'll keep it short and sweet this time. So while I was showing you the rainbow stuff for the 2 grandsons, I thought I would show you these socks. These were finished. I think I finished these in June. I was working on them for my husband's birthday. I was going to give him them for his birthday, and I think I finished them in time for his birthday, and his birthday's in June. And he's not got them yet, because I kept telling him, you need to wait till I show them in a video. You need to wait till I show them on a video. So after today, he can get these socks. And like I said before, I haven't woven in the ends. Still get ends to weave in. That's all I had to do. They've been soaked, they've been blocked. They just need the ends woven in. Show you guys these socks. I've got 2. And then he can have this pair of socks. These ones were a wee bit of an experiment. I did use my Skoosh toe-up pattern for these, and obviously they're knitted toe-up. They're a large size on the foot and up to the heel, but after the heel I've decreased the stitches to try and make the leg a wee bit thinner. I feel like the socks that I make for my husband, they fit him fine in the feet. He's a large in the feet, but he's got quite slim ankles. And I feel like they always look really baggy around his legs. So these ones are a wee bit of an experiment. They are stretched out a wee bit on here over the large size sock blockers. But once they get washed again, they'll be fine. And it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to count that out there. Can you see it properly? It's a knit 4 purl 2 rib on the top of the foot and round the leg. And the yarn I used for these was by the Yarn Badger. That's the Yarn Badger's wee label there. And this colourway is called Science Fiction. I do have a wee bit of leftovers. I might even be able to get a wee pair of mittens out of that for one of the kids. It would need to be the older grandson because I don't think the wee one could wear them. And that's all I'm going to show you crafty wise today. But if I can get this edited, and it doesn't take me too long, and now that I've done one, I won't feel so nervous about doing another one, so I could come back in a week or 2 and show you what else I've been working on. I do have a couple of other things to show you just before I go, just because they're sitting waiting to be shown on here before I use them. Okay, the first thing I'm going to show you, there's going to be a wee bit of crinkling. Okay, it's still wrapped up and the paper it came in is this wee bag. How pretty is that? I received this as a gift when I went over to Roxburghshire to teach a class, the knitting class that I'm travelling about Scotland teaching, which has been a bit of a challenge, to be honest. It's just partly down to the way I'm feeling and just the way I am just now. But look at the inside as well. When you take the tissue out the inside. Oh, there's a wee name tag in there. But look how pretty that lining is as well. I'm going to turn it right inside out. Look how pretty that lining is. Now, I haven't used this bag yet because I was keeping it to show it in a video and I didn't realise there was actually a name tag inside. It says Carlenrig Farm. But this was handmade by one of the ladies that came to the class and it was gifted to me at the end, and I just thought that is beautiful. I'm kind of worried about using it because it's so white. I don't want to get it dirty. I wonder if I should Scotch guard it first before I use it. But I'm guessing she must make a lot of bags. I'll have a wee look and I'll put a link below, okay, so you can go have a wee look. When she's got a name tag inside, she must hand make her own bags. But Roxburghshire is over in the south east coast of Scotland. It's in the borders. It's on the east coast and it's not far away from England. So I just thought that was lovely and I wanted to share it with you, and now that I have, I'll be able to use that. So I'll be able to use this and my husband can get those socks as well. And I'm going to show you this wee brooch as well. How pretty is that? I got this when I went to Rossshire. I was gifted this when I was at Rossshire. Now Rosshire's quite far up north. If you look for Dingwall, it's just above Inverness. That's where it was, and I was gifted this wee brooch. I think you can see it really well there if I put my top behind. But this is actually made from Nespresso pods. Do you know those old the coffee pods you get? It's made from those. It's recycled Nespresso pods, and they're made into a brooch. Now I think if you look online, you'll be able to find tutorials on how to make these. As far as I'm aware, you've got your Nespresso pod and you just bash it. You bash it flat and then you can fold it in half and glue them together. Glue the little pods together and you can make brooches. There's all sorts of things you can make with them. It's not something I've ever done because I don't have an espresso machine, but I just thought that was really, really pretty. And I thought I'm going to show that as well the next time I do a video. But it's really nice to get these handmade gifts, especially things that are recycled, things that would be ending up in a landfill. But really, really nice, isn't it? Right, I'll just pop that back in its box. And that is all I've got to share with you today. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. I really hope it doesn't take me long to do this editing. I really hope I still know how to upload a video onto YouTube. And all going smoothly, you'll see this video soon. And I will also do another one maybe next week or the week after. And I'll see you again soon. Okay? Bye!